Now, there's definitely like way too many storage facilities in like the cities. All right, there's enough storage facilities. And actually, you don't want to be focusing on this like cities like Orlando and like Nashville and Charlotte and you know all these cities, these huge big cities. You don't want to be like because it's too expensive, right? So you don't want to be focusing on these kinds of cities, all right, to build new construction, right? You want to be focusing on secondary and tertiary markets. All right. So I'm in Atlanta. All right. And then like here's the perimeter of Atlanta. Right. And then you have this is called the secondary market. This would be like, you know, Marietta and Woodstock and like all the way down. Like I'm from Peachtree City, maybe all this. And then you have like what's called the tertiary market. How do you spell tertiary? Tertiary. I have no idea. That says tertiary right there. Okay, guys. So so the tertiary market, right? Now, so you don't want to be focused. You don't want to be driving around Orlando trying to find a storage facility to buy. Okay. So this is not a good strategy, okay, to find them. All right. You want to be focusing on secondary if you have a lot of money and tertiary if you don't have a lot of money. All right, let's just put it that way. That's easy, right? So, and then, you know, you want to know and you want to truly understand, you know, cap rate. I mean, everything in the storage world, everything is all about cap rate and square footage. Remember that storage facilities are considered warehouses, okay? They're considered warehouses. And this is not multifamily. It is not doors, right? Like nobody nobody that knows what they're talking about talks about doors in self-storage. They talk about units. What's your unit mix, right? But not doors, right? I got in, I was always like, yeah, I've been like, you know, 500 doors or whatever, you know, and so that's like in the multifamily world, that's what you say. But in the storage facility world, you talk about unit mix is what you talk about, okay? So y'all getting some lingo down now, right? So it's all about cap rate, square footage, unit mix, right? So when you're starting to look for storage facilities, this is my personal opinion. And actually, how much? Write into chat for me. How much money do you think you would be able to borrow to buy a storage facility? Now let's consider the 80-20 rule. And if you have any money, just buy. I have no money. Because I own millions of dollars worth of storage facilities and I haven't put a dime of my own money in, right? But if you have money, it makes life, you know, if you have money, it makes life easier, right? So let's consider the 80-20 rule. Okay, 20, you have to come up with 20%. So how much can you come up with 20%? You can afford X amount of dollars, right? Because 80% you can get funded. All right, you can easily, and honestly, you get the bet. If you have no money, you pay a higher interest rate for borrowing your money versus if you have money, right, then you pay a lower interest rate because you can go to the bank, right, and you can borrow money. And like my students, they are, I mean, they're borrowing at like 4% interest rate. Like one of my students, he got like 3.75% interest rate on like a 25-year loan. Right. So, so basically what somebody's saying, Stacy, you have none of your own money, but you're sitting in and doing hard money loans. No. I use private money. Okay. So, so consider the 80-20 rule, right? 20% down, right? And you're going to borrow 80%. All right. And you're going to get badass interest rates for doing that. And that is what you do with a, that's what you do. Let's do 80-20. Okay. And that's what you do with a cash flowing property, right? Cash flowing, right? So if you can get a P&L and a balance sheet and tax returns from the owner, and they say, yes, I want to work with you to sell my property at top dollar, that's what happens. If you're buying a cash flowing property, I say most of the time it's top dollar. And if not top dollar, it's like middle range dollar, right? Okay, so my question to you is, do you have 20% to put down to buy a cash flowing property, right? And if so, if you know what that 20, if you know, like I saw somebody say 75,000, I have $75,000. So that means that he can borrow X amount of money. He could probably borrow like, let's say he could probably buy up, if you have $75,000, you can buy like a $500,000 facility, right? Because remember, something like that is kind of how you know. So then you say, okay, like if I have 75 grand, I know I can go out, I can go and get this size of a facility. Does that make sense to everybody? Right? So that's why I'm asking. I'm not asking for your personal information. I'm asking, like, start thinking about how much money you have in order to invest. Okay.